Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Hannah, and today's video is going to be a pregnancy update for week 28. So this week is the very beginning of the third trimester, and last week I mentioned how I could kind of feel the third trimester happening, and yes. One, I'm out of breath if you couldn't tell. Two, this is a new thing that has happened literally just this week. I have to pee in the middle of the night and I can't ignore it more than one time. So I go to bed, or I go to sleep around midnight. So I go to the bathroom at midnight. Then I'll wake up around 3 or 4 and I have to pee. And I can ignore it then because it's not so bad. I usually just flip to my left side and it takes the pressure off of my bladder. And then I wake up around 5, 6, 7 and I have to pee. I have to get out of bed and go to the bathroom. And so that's kind of preparing me for when the baby gets here and I can't sleep all the way through the night anymore. So it's fine, but yeah, I no longer can sleep all the way through the night. So last week I kind of went on this whole woe is me rant about how I don't feel like I look pregnant, or the perfect pregnancy bump. And it's fine. I still don't think I have the perfect pregnancy bump, and I probably won't, and that's totally okay. I have my pregnancy bump. But people have noticed that a bump is starting to form. So my mom worked at Dillard's for a while, and I would go and visit her on her lunch and stuff. I met some of her coworkers during the first trimester, and then she ended up quitting during my second trimester, so they hadn't seen me since the first trimester. And then the other day we went shopping and they saw me again and they were like, oh, you have a pregnancy bump coming on. And then there was a lady who wanted to ask me if I was pregnant, but she didn't want to cause a scene if I wasn't. So but I was telling her that I was pregnant, she asked if I was the baby of the family, and I was like, yeah, and I'm carrying a baby. And anyway, she was just like, oh, I wanted to ask, but I didn't want to So earlier this week we had our first 2-week interval doctor's visit. So the very beginning of the third trimester, week 28. I have some information to tell you from the doctor's appointment. And I have the baby's heartbeat was 138 to 140 when she did the little Doppler. So I guess technically with the wives' tales of fast heartbeat, slow heartbeat, right now we have a boy, or could be a boy, because the heart rate has significantly dropped. It was in the 160s, I think, for quite some time, 160s and 150s, and so that would be more of a girl. But below 140 would mean more like a boy. So I don't know, it could just have been because the baby was resting. It really wasn't that active, so its heartbeat of course wouldn't be pumping. Anyway, we still don't know what we're having, but if you want to be silly and go off the old wives' tales, then I guess we have a boy. I have gained 13 pounds, which my doctor says is really good and that I'm on track. And then 2 weeks ago I did the glucose test and a complete blood count test, and the glucose test came back normal. I don't have gestational diabetes, which is good, but the CBC, the complete blood count test, came back as me being anemic. And so they ended up calling me and were like, oh hey, take iron 2 times a day, this milligram and whatever. And so I was like, oh okay, but I am so forgetful, okay? It has taken me a very long time to get every single day, it took me the whole first trimester to get going every single day with taking the little gummy vitamins, prenatal vitamins. So I hadn't been very consistent with taking the iron, and so my doctor was like, you need to. Of course she got on to me, which is fine, and I totally understand, but she said that my hemoglobins were at 8.4 and they should be at a 10. So at 32 weeks, so in 4 weeks, we're going to be taking another CBC test after I've been taking the iron twice daily. And so far, this whole entire week, it is now Friday, I have done it. I have taken it twice a day, and so we're hoping that my hemoglobins go back up to where they should be, and because if not, my doctor said that if they don't raise, then she's going to have to do like an IV bag with iron in it for me, and I don't want that. We don't want that happening. So let's hope that the iron pills are working. And the last thing that she kind of talked about during the visit was to start doing the kick counting, or the counting kicks, and she said to have at least 10 kicks or 10 movements in 2 hours. And the whole time I was looking at her like, try like 30 to 40 kicks every 1 hour. That's how much this baby moves. Our baseline is pretty much 20 to could be 40 movements every hour, and then like around 4, 5, and 6 the baby kind of calms down and doesn't really move too much. So that's what I've noticed. Counting the kicks is so odd to me because like sometimes the baby is moving so much that I can't count the individual kicks, so I have to count like a group of movements all together as one because I can't count how many. And so I'm kind of confused as to how that actually works. Like, do you count the groups of movements or do you count the individual kicks? Because if you count the individual kicks, I'm doomed. I'm doomed, and it's going to be way too many kicks, and like I think she might think I'm crazy or something. Well, if you have any advice of how I should actually be counting the kicks, please let me know in the comments, because I'm just kind of like, I don't know what I'm doing. And so yeah, but I am trying my hardest to count them correctly and to count them, because sometimes it's really hard to be like, wait, what number am I on when I'm in like hour 2. Yeah, that has officially started. So back onto new symptoms or things that I've noticed throughout this pregnancy, is the whole getting up in the middle of the night to pee now, and I am running out of breath so fast. So we've been going on walks because I've been feeling like I really need to, but we go late at night and we walk fairly slow because at this point my stomach muscles hurt pretty bad. If I walk too fast or at like pre-pregnancy normal rate, if we just deviate from the slowness that we start off with, I'm like, and like the tiniest hill just knocks me out of breath. And also sometimes I can just be like laying down and I don't feel like I can can get a full breath, and so I'm like, and then like short little breaths, and I'm like trying to get another bigger breath, and it's just like, it's crazy how fast my breath goes away. Oh, and while I'm eating I can lose my breath pretty fast, which is weird. That's just a very weird one, and I don't know if that's normal. It probably is, but that's just odd to me. These next 2 things are kind of at night. So in the middle of this week, probably on Wednesday, I think, I had another terrifying dream. And I think I said this in somewhere in my 2nd trimester, one of those updates. I had a couple of terrifying dreams where like I'm waking up to myself like screaming with my mouth closed, and that's exactly what happened the other day. I woke up and like in my dream I was screaming at my husband because scary things were happening, and I woke up and like my throat was making noises but my mouth was completely closed, and then I was terrified, and so like I rolled over and laid on top of him because I was so scared. I really hope those don't happen more often now, because it's hard to get through the night when that happens. And then the last thing that I have pertaining to sleep is I bought a pillow to use as a pregnancy pillow. I did not want to buy the big, bed ones. I just figured that this would work to put at the very bottom of my stomach and then hike my knee up on. when I lay on my side, and it has helped. I've been able to like sleep like on one side for a lot longer, and my stomach doesn't hurt as bad. The only annoying thing with like getting a pillow like this is that when I flip sides, I have to bring it over with me. It's not like the pregnancy pillow where it goes all the way around. And it was totally fine. I can't afford a pregnancy pillow, and I can't justify it to myself. So we literally got this one for like $5-6, and it works very well. So it works a lot nicer than like a stuffed animal. Like this stuffed animal, it works so much better than using that. And I use the stuffed animal to like lean on so I don't end up like flipping all the way and then my body's all twisted. And anyway, okay, so now I'm going to insert some movements of the baby. If I can find the clips, I will insert them actually. We're gonna go ahead and go on to the Pregnancy Plus app. Today I am on day 201, so that's the 3rd trimester, and I am 28 weeks and 5 days pregnant. Okay, so here's the little baby, so cute. Just sleeping away, of course. It says that it is 15.2 inches and 2.5 pounds. It has information on the eye development. Your baby's irises can now respond to light by dilating and contracting. Organ development. All of the internal organs are maturing and preparing to function on their own at birth. Your baby's skin is beginning to look less wrinkly and more like it will look at birth, which is good. So I just scrolled down a little bit and it says my due date is December 15th, which is true. And so I have 11 weeks and 2 days left. That puts a lot of things into perspective. The size of the baby by Sweets is a chocolate box, which, okay, because there's a whole bunch of different sizes of chocolate boxes. By Animal, it's the size of a little puppy. And then by Fruit, which is the more reliable one that I can see, is a winter squash, which is kind of like fitting because, you know, pumpkins and squash are all the rage right now because it's fall. That is all that I have for you guys for week 28, the beginning of the 3rd trimester, and thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you're notified every time I put out a new video, and I will see you next week. Bye!
Hold my hand and look me in the eyes so I can tell you how I feel. Tell you how I feel.